Hello, beautiful human. I am Zach. That is Dan, and we welcome to the studio.
Hello.
Back for the first time in a while. This right here is Fletcher.
Hey guys. Hi.
The last time you visited us in person was like on the show. 2019. Yeah, we were right down the street in our old studio. A lot of people don't know that like our new studio is literally a rock's throw away from our old one.
Yeah, but it's a whole new world. This is official. You got this like crazy fancy lights in here, all the gear. I'm like, ooh, this is got a little nervous.
Well, welcome to Amazon
sweaty.
Music. I really appreciate you coming to Studio 126. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, I'm so stoked to be here. I'm like always so amped to talk to you. It just is always such a fluid, like lovely conversation. And yeah, I've just been such a fan for so long. You guys just do such a good job of like making people feel cozy, and I was excited to come today.
Well, I really appreciate it. As we introduce a new era, we're 3 singles deep into this thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we totally are.
But we have a full body of work that, is it connected when one listens to it, or are we really talking about standalone songs that make something bigger up?
I think each song is a really intentional piece of a larger story. And this album, my album is called In Search of the Antidote. And it is, it's just a quest. Like the record is just a quest to like my deepest inner chambers of just really wanting to know myself and explore myself and who I am. And I took a lot of time off and to like really take that time to do that deep dive and come back with this music, which is like my favorite music I have ever made. Yeah, it feels really good to finally like return again and be here.
Can you explain to me what the last few years have really been like? Because when we meet in 2019, you have a hit on your hands, right? Like Undrunk You's massive and huge record, but it also leads into a really unique time in history, right? Because there's COVID that's looming in 2020.
Totally.
But you still get to ride that for a second. I mean, what was that genuinely like? Because like you had a radio hit. You may be like one of the last people, in my opinion, when I think about it, that was like, you didn't have like huge viral success before you came into our studio.
Yeah.
Right? Like after that, everything fucking changes as it relates to like what would even warrant an artist to be signed to a label.
It's such an interesting time. I mean, the landscape has just changed so much. The world has changed so much.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And in 2019, I had a song called Undrunk, and it was on the radio, and I got to perform it like in the craziest places, the craziest stages, like Madison Square Garden, all these like different like radio shows. And yeah, it was a wild journey. And then the pandemic happened, and then I quarantined with my girlfriend at the time. And then I wrote this body of work called The Sex Tapes, which was shot and directed by my ex. We were together in quarantine, and
that's crazy.
She filmed all the music videos to this project, and there was a song on there called Bitter that like also really took off for me. And then
can we just like
should we pause?
Yeah, can we dissect what it's like working that intimately with somebody?
Yeah.
Like how does work even erupt in conversation, right?
Whew. We were just navigating a really complex, difficult time, and I had written all this music about it, and she's such a talented creative and director and photographer, and I was just like, well, we're here. Like I have this music that I've written about like the ups and downs of like my life and discovering sexuality and our relationship and whatever I was navigating at the time. And then I was like, let's just like put our worlds together. And it was absolutely one of the most unhinged, chaotic things I've ever done in my entire life. But it also was like, it was so cathartic and magic. It's like still to this day, like one of my favorite things.
So, okay, were you writing these songs in the other room while she was just somewhere else in the house, or like?
No, these were songs that I had been writing, and then I just finished them all throughout from afar. With I was working with an incredible producer, Malay, who's done some really amazing stuff for Frank Ocean and Lorde, and yeah, such talented artists. And so we were working from afar. And just sending each other. I was like recording my vocals, sending them to him, like all the things. And then, yeah, made that project, and then have gone on, to just do some other wild things. And now here we're back on your couch again.
But they are really connected, right? This last project and the album we're getting, there is some connective tissue there, right?
Well, totally, because then we go from the sex tapes and then we go into my debut album, which came out in September 2022, which was called Girl of My Dreams.
Yeah.
And that was sort of from the sex tapes, my exploration into like me being the girl of my dreams and like spending time on my own and finding this, this relationship with myself, but also processing a breakup. And, there were some wild moments on that album too. And, so there's always
Which you address in this album. There's a lot of connective tissue here.
Yes. Also, this is great because I just put out a song and the lyric is, I went and saw a psychic, went on the pussy diet. So this is perfect that this is next to me.
Did a psychic really push you into the human you are today? Like, is there reality to that lyric? Because people do that shit.
It's fascinating. I'm such a curious person. I'm such a curious person about just like the mysteries of the universe. I'm a Pisces. I'm really sensitive. I'm like deeply.
I'm dating one.
You're dating a Pisces?
Yeah, they're crazy.
They are crazy. I'm so sorry about that. What's your sign?
I'm a Taurus.
Oh, but Taurus and Pisces, that's a good match.
There's a ground.
I mean, there's other planets and there's other things that I'm a bit of an astrology slut. So
I love it.
But
give me answers or rid me for filth. Give me something.
Well, do you know your moon and your rising? Do you know other things in your chart?
I don't know it off the back of my hand, but there's been moments where I have like taken his chart and our chart and we've overlapped and we've discussed and because it does matter. There is like, okay, so you in your ex that you end up crafting all these videos with, were you compatible in the astrology world?
We had the same birthday.
Oh shit, that's a no, right?
It is just another.
No, you know what the book says. You know what the book says on True Pisces.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, it's absolutely a lot. And I've like had a thing I've like dated a few Pisces in my life. Yeah. What? So it's been, but no, I can't do it anymore.
But
no more.
You know.
I know, but I don't know what it is. I think there's just this, because like we're so sensitive, there's this like, oh, you see me, I see you. We kind of get each other's like
interesting
the depth and the chaos that ensues with it.
That really breeds great art, right? I can make the case that understanding each other's vulnerabilities and being safe to express those and then like really take those and turn them in something that is just in your head or discuss and turning into something tangible.
Well, I think that's the artist's responsibility, to turn pain into art, chaos into art, emotion, feeling, to connect to their hearts, to share what's in their hearts and like put it up on a canvas and then let the world experience it. And, art is subjective. So they're going to throw whatever they want at it. They're going to have opinions about it. They're going to have opinions about you, all the things, but it's like, that's my job. That's my duty is like, and it's, not only is it my job and my duty, it's like the only thing that makes me feel sane in this world is to be able to share like what is truly, truly inside. And the fact that I get to like come on here and talk about it and have shows that I can go play and fans that'll listen to it is like a pinch me moment every day, all the time.
You are incredibly honest in the lyrics that you put out there. And you're very straightforward. There's like no beating around the fucking bush. There's
it's a little bit direct.
It is incredibly
She just brought
direct.
up a lyric about it. You went on the pussy diet.
I did. Yeah. I wrote this song called "Doing Better," which just came out recently.
I love it.
Thank you.
You're listening to it this morning. I have notes. Keep going.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm so curious about the notes.
Oh my God, your girlfriend never thanked me for making her go viral. Fuck it, I'm her idol. Do you believe that? Are you actually your ex's new girlfriend's idol?
So let me go back. Let's roll it back here.
You go.
I put out a song called "Becky So Hot" from Girl of My Dreams, which erupted on lesbian TikTok on social media.
Would you say that? I mean, even more than on Drunk, that's a life-changing song.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot, and I got to perform it on stage with Miley at her New Year's Eve special. Who's like I love so much, and it was such an incredible experience, and also such a pinch me moment. And but there was so much from that era and that time and that song that over the last year, and I've like had to go away. I was like really struggling with a lot of health things over the last year. I got quite sick, and tours were pulled down and like everything got really quiet and I disappeared from social media and I was like really forced to look at myself in the mirror, to like spend time with me outside of the validation from the public, outside of articles being written about me, people interviewing me. All these things just were removed because I had to heal. Like I had to heal my body, was diagnosed with Lyme disease. And so I really had to like take a step back. And this album came from a place of like desperation, of hope, of just needing to like look at all of it and not ignore anything. Like all of this sort of unresolved emotion or childhood things, or I had to look at all of it. And so the song Doing Better came as a reflection of the time period of Becky So Hot and that era and all the ways that like that success and that time like didn't necessarily feel good. It's like, look at me, I'm doing all these things, I'm performing these songs here and I'm doing this and X and Y and Z, but I feel like shit and I'm sick. And it was like the verses, like your girlfriend never thanked me for making her go viral. Fuck it, I'm her idol. Is like me making fun of myself. It's like I wrote those from the energy and the perspective that Fletcher was in at the time when that song came out, of just this confidence and this like cockiness. And it's sort of me making fun of myself in a way and just reflecting on that time and what that energy was.
Are you writing this album while battling Lyme disease?
Yeah, so my album is called In Search of the Antidote.
Is that what it's connected to?
Yeah. And so the antidote has been different things for me at different times over the course of my life. It was, the fans, it was the road, it was stages, it was bottles of tequila, it was women, and then, this last year, the antidote was something really different for me. But it's an album about like the quest to finding what that antidote is, like what is that for you? And to feel the full range of your feelings, of like the full range of the human emotion of just rage and joy and jealousy and lust and anger and hope and being horny. I don't know, like whatever the vibe is, to feel that full range of it is the healing. Like that is the true healing, and to not like shy away from the parts of yourselves that we try to hide from the world. And I was doing that, like all the ways that I was just pushing certain aspects of myself forward to be, I don't know, to like chase after some invisible barometer of success that you could literally lose your mind in. And it's just that song, Doing Better, is just like a reflection on just really this, also the state of the world of just like, look at me, look at me, look at me. I have all these things, but I'm fucking empty or miserable, And to find your like deepest worth outside of it all is the antidote. At least part of mine.
Because that is part of an overall healthy lifestyle outlook, but Lyme disease is very real, right? It's scientifically real. Like no matter what mind space one is in, yes, I do believe like positive energy and negative energy all have real implications on one's health and just healing and ability.
Of course.
But like, how hard is it to finish an album while battling Lyme? Because one of the things is being highly lethargic and needing to sleep, and it's hard to get out of bed. If there's flare-ups, there's a lot.
For me, it wasn't so much that I was like trying to finish an album while sort of battling health things. It was kind of, it was part of the healing for me.
I get it.
And as somebody who I grew up classically trained vocally. I started with classical vocal lessons when I was 5 years old. And so the control over my voice has always been something that has been so important for me and a part of my identity as a vocalist and as a singer. And as I've navigated health things, your body's affected, your nervous system's affected, your muscles are affected, your vocal cords are affected. So I had to let go so much through this record of my ideal of like a perfect vocal take. And I was just forced to sing from my heart, to write from my heart, because it was all that I had access to and I didn't have the energy for anything else. And so I wrote this record, most of this record in my hometown in New Jersey. And so I would just go between the studio and then my mom would I'd go home and my mom would make me some soup and then I would go back and just feel and write and cry and scream and laugh and just pour it all out on the table. And my best music ever has come from it.
Hello, beautiful human. Every year, millions of gamers experience IGSS, inadequate gaming setup syndrome. Luckily, a cure has been found. You have to go beyond with the Vibrasonic mattress by Beyond Sleep. This thing has 6 built-in subwoofers, USB ports for charging, LED lights so you never stub your toe. It gives you an acoustic massage when you want it, plus adjustable degrees of comfort. This right here is the best way to game ever. Cure your IGSS today at BeyondSleepTech.com. Love that it was done in New Jersey. How do you curate the collaborators, though, for something like this, which is really personal and raw? And also, I don't know, your health is involved here. So it's maybe a totally different album than you've ever made before.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of, the people that I got to work with on this record.
Jon Bellion on the list.
Jon Bellion, we wrote a couple songs together, and he's just the most incredible writer and creator of all time. Like, watching that man write is I'm like, there's an angel in the building. And Julia Michaels, we wrote a couple songs together on this album. And
how is that working? Like, are they where they are and you're in New Jersey? Are you going to them? Are they going to you?
I was with Jon on the East Coast in New York.
Long Island? Yeah,
in
his
Long
house.
Island. Yeah, we had a little Long Island moment.
You stay there too?
And I just drove in and out. I just drove in and out from Jersey. I just cruised
commuter,
in.
eh?
Yeah, I commuted.
That's
It's so East Coast of me. I love to drive. I just love to drive. I don't know I don't care. It's like, even if there's traffic sucks, but I just love to be in my car. Listening to music in the car is truly a religion.
Yeah, and also it is the best way to listen to music, and it's the best way to get an understanding of a song.
Yeah.
But also, LA driving is different than New Jersey, New York City driving, just for clarity.
No, I'm also just a bit of a crazy I'm have a bit of road rage. So I've brought that over to the West Coast.
Healthy.
Yeah. Healthy. It's the balance.
But how'd you pick people to work with?
On this record, I just wrote with the people who I have written my best and favorite songs with, who just feel like me. And I am so lucky that I get to, that they want to be in the room with me and that we get to create incredible songs together. And yeah, it was a really small select group of humans, and a couple of them came out to Jersey to write with me. And yeah, it was executive produced by Jen DeSilvio, who's she's one of my she's my Jersey sister and one of my best friends. And I just got to create with family, truly. And that's why it felt so healing for me, because I kind of put aside all the, I want to write and create with who makes me feel good, and, who sees something in me that sometimes I maybe can't necessarily see in a moment, and just kind of pulls out these masterpieces, if I do say so myself. I'm kidding. No, I'm not kidding. Hype up your own work. Be your own number one fan.
You need to be.
You gotta be. Who else is gonna do it?
Yeah, it starts with someone.
Also, don't take yourself too seriously, but also be your number one fan. That's what I'd say.
Easier said than done.
I have to show you something. I can't keep letting this sit here. So they asked me when I came in if I wanted to print any image on a drink, on a latte.
Yeah,
I don't drink caffeine because it makes me crazy. So I did it on a tea, but I put one of my nudes on the latte.
Wait, what?
I did. I put I put my titties on a latte.
Wait, congratulations.
Yeah, it's kind of going away now, but let me show you.
Has there always, I have so many questions.
It's like a mirror.
Oh, you look
selfie.
stunning.
And those are my boobs.
Oh, you look hot. You look really beautiful. Don't you, Dan? He doesn't deserve it.
She already showed me in the hallway.
Oh, shit. He's a straight man, I don't know what's up with that.
I wonder what that's like.
Yeah, it's so weird.
To be a straight man. But I just was they said that no one's ever done it before. So I'm like, well, I have to do that then.
Thank you for paving new ground.
You're welcome.
Have you always been comfortable with your body, or is this a recent revelation?
Oh, wow. No, I absolutely have not always been comfortable with my body. It is something I've deeply had a tumultuous relationship with for a lot of my life. And, you know, when we live in a world, in a society that just like capitalizes off of our self-hatred, and we're constantly seeing billboards and signs and things and take this pill and try this cream and don't age and all of it. It's just constantly around us. And so the world is always working against you in terms of your self-image and the way that you view yourself. And so, yeah, it's like a muscle. It's a muscle that you strengthen over time, whether that be, you know, I remember I did this like affirmation podcast for like 21 days. And every day you like work through these different affirmations in the mirror. And one of them said, you had to say like, I love you. And then your name, my name's Carrie. And so I was saying like, I love you, Carrie. I love you, Carrie. And it was like really uncomfortable for me. And so instead I was just like, I'm just going to write like, I love you, bitch. And so I wrote, I love you, bitch, like huge on my mirror. And then I ended up writing a song on my last album, Girl of My Dreams, called I Love You, Bitch, about that specifically. But I think it's just something that you, it's a forever journey. But I don't know. I'm like, life's too short. I'm just going to like show my ass. You know what I mean?
Hey, fucking man. Amen. Yes.
I signed some Polaroids. There's like a picture of my butt that I was like putting in the vinyls, like for fans, like for the album. And I signed like so many of them, and my dad was helping me package them up. And I was like, there's something so weird about like your dad watching you sign pictures of your ass cheeks and like send them to fans. And he's like, let's go, Fletcher. I'm like, you must be proud, Dad.
Dude, they are so proud of you. I've seen them at your shows.
They are my parents are super proud. Yeah, they're super proud. They're just like, yeah, it was a journey though, you know, to get there. It's like, I grew up in a really conservative small town in New Jersey and was raised like going to church. And so just there's so much for me around getting comfortable with myself and my life and my sexuality, growing up in a place where it wasn't so free to just be yourself.
It's true, but a place where music was really the most famous thing about where you grew up.
True.
I gotta say, like
True.
when you think of places in this country, Asbury Park is up there as one of the birthplaces to some of the greatest music and musicians to ever exist.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just saying this because I am also from New Jersey.
Look at us, little like, Jersey kids.
It is a very special place that breeds very special people, and maybe it is that the contrasting energy of the two, right? You know, because New Jersey as a whole is not incredibly liberal, not as liberal as it was today when we were growing up in it. You know, it was way more conservative. The entire state was pretty conservative at a certain point.
Yeah.
You know, it still is, parts of the state are still conservative. But in Asbury Park, there is like, now, again, like, it's changed today. Like, when you go back to Asbury Park, it is not the same fucking place you grew up in.
No, it's not. It is a completely different space and energy. The gays have taken it over.
It's weird. Today it's celebrated for the history that it has, right? Like, it's more liberal, more about art and music, and the gays have taken it over.
Yeah, I created a festival called Fletcher and Friends, which I launched last year, and I had some amazing, like, the fans came out and it was such a beautiful thing. And I did it during Pride weekend in Asbury Park, which is where Bruce Springsteen is from, and Bon Jovi, and like so many incredible artists. A lot of Jersey pride. Dude, Halsey's from Jersey.
Stone Pony is one of the coolest venues ever.
It's so sick. And so that's where I did launched my festival.
Parking lot, right?
I'm doing it again. Yeah, the summer stage. And so sick. I'm doing it again this year in June. And yeah, gonna have some like amazing artists come out for the bill and just keep growing it. It's just, and it feels such a full circle moment for me to be able to create this festival where I grew up, surrounded, you know, by Pride weekend, and in a place where to have this full circle moment where I, you know, struggled so much as a little kid and now get to like be the fullness of who I am is so healing for little Carrie.
To have that moment and music be the vehicle, it's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild. Can we get into this album a little bit?
Yeah, let's do it.
We haven't listened to all of it, because we're indulging like the rest of the world, right, Dan?
Yeah, we only know the 3 songs that are out.
We have 3 songs.
Wow.
We're just like everybody else, but we do have a track list,
Okay.
and that gets me interested. Ego talking?
Yeah, ego talking is, I think a big thing for me on this album was the record is like, it's an exploration of love in all of its infinite manifestations and all of these explorations of like different feelings and emotions. And when you give voice to whatever it is that you're feeling, even if that's like rage or anger or jealousy, and you give the mic to those parts of you. I remember I went to the studio that day and I was feeling, there was a girl that I was seeing and we had sort of ended things, and I was writing from the space of like fear about it moving on to someone else. And I was like, oh, my ego needs the mic today. Like my ego wants to, this is not, what I want to say right now is not from like the healthy, healed, happy version of me, you know, this better version, this future version of me, or like my highest evolved self. But the version of me right now is my ego needs the mic. My ego wants the mic. My ego wants to say something. And so that song was from my ego talking. So that's that one.
That's interesting that different shades of yourself get highlighted in every song.
Yeah, truly. And the thing is I think people have this idea of like, oh, once you're on this healing journey, it's all love and light and everything's good. And I'm like, no, it's about the integration of all of it, all the mess, all the feelings, none of it's linear. And so this album, In Search of the Antidote, is like the most chaotic I've ever been and the most healed I've ever been. And understanding that 2 things can be true. Both of those things exist.
You kind of need both, right? Like you can't be healed without the chaos.
No, it's just that's the brand forever.
Is that what track 5 is about? 2 things can be true?
2 things can be true. 2 things can be true is a song about pining after, you know, a straight girl, which is something that a situation I've ended up in.
Pining?
Pining. Yeah,
Pining?
like longing, like, you know, having like pining, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like longing after like somebody who's not totally accessible, which I've ended up in that situation in a few times in my life of just loving the straight girls.
How do you get there?
I love straight girls. Don't call me, please, and ruin my life.
But how do you get there? Like, what is it about that? Like, do you want? What have you unpacked that?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. It is. I've done a deep dive in my emotional avoidance, and in terms of, you know, when someone is emotionally unavailable, there is this perceived idea that like you're not gonna fully get hurt because you can't really have them anyway. So anyway, we're working on that. We're working on accepting love. I've had a pretty like avoidant attachment style in life. So we're working on our attachment styles.
So you fall for the people who can't fall for you.
Yes, or it's been a range of it.
There's no desire of wanting them to fall for you?
That was more in my past.
Understood.
Of like growing up with in terms of like my sexuality and discovering my sexuality and just loving the straight girls, being in love with your best friends. And
it's real.
Yeah. And then now in terms of my relationship to relationship now is just something that is like constantly evolving. And I just am working on being able to like accept love in my life and know that I'm like worthy of love and worthy of healthy relationships. And that's a healing journey that we're on.
I'm excited for you
Thank you.
It's a beautiful place that one can end up in.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's the ultimate. I think you're newly in a relationship, aren't you?
Yeah.
I watched your interview with Ariana, which was iconic, by the way.
Thank you. Part 2 drops soon.
Can't wait. Part 1 was incredible. And you started the interview by saying you are experiencing dick glow.
Yeah. Good dick glow. Yeah.
Good dick glow. Congratulations on that.
Thank you so
Have
much.
you experienced that?
Have I experienced good dick glow?
It's a different thing.
It is a different thing. I don't know. Like I've experienced that at some point in my life. But yeah, I've definitely experienced good like dildo glow.
Yeah.
Just like it's like a fuck glow. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Good sex glow. Whatever the body part is, it doesn't matter.
That's it. And
It's like it's the fuck glow.
And
it's
it is
so real.
It is more about like a state you're in when you're in a happy, healthy relationship that dude, it exudes. Like I was glowing for a bit and the security guards were bringing it up to me and they did educate me on it.
Yeah, it's just because it's healing. You know, if you're just having if you're having good sex, it's just like your body's releasing oxytocin and dopamine and serotonin. It's a workout. There's all these benefits to it.
And by the way, something I've never experienced in all 30 years of living, and it is new. And also, like, I've never actually experienced being loved by somebody, genuinely being loved, and also like the person that I have love for and show love to. Actually returning that is new to me. So
Zach.
It's been a wild thing. It really has been crazy.
That makes me so happy to hear and feel. It just like hit me so hard in the heart. I'm so happy for you. Like we all deserve that. We all deserve to feel that and to know that and to experience that. And
we do.
It's the point of everything. Like love is truly, it's really the only thing. It's the only thing that matters.
It's true.
Everything else is just, it's silly, you know? It's like what we truly came here to experience as humans in this lifetime is to know and experience love and feel it in all the ways and feel the loss of it too. It's that's it. And
as scary as that is.
Yeah, it's like, but to know the depth of that love, to be able to experience the depth of that love, we have to be able to experience the depth of its loss too. And so that's the human experience and the integrating of it all.
It's so scary to lose though. Like, because there has to have been a moment. Like, was there a moment in your last relationship or the one that really was the longest running that you kind of thought this could be forever?
Yeah, I wrote a song about it. I wrote a song called Forever. Yes. Yeah. And that's the thing is just but it also is like.
Do you write that song after you realize it's not forever or when you realize that it could be forever?
Well, the lyric was, I think I could love you forever and ever and ever and ever as long as forever and ever and ever doesn't start right now. Because I was in my avoidant phase and we just, I don't know, needed to figure my shit out.
Did you?
Yeah, yes.
It's active.
It's active. It's an active process. But yeah, I'm word vomiting. I lost my train of thought.
Scary though, because you
forever?
think in that moment that it could be forever, and I do. In my relationship that I'm in now, I see nothing but forever. But the idea of, you don't know. You don't know.
You don't know, but that's the thing is like, that's been a huge thing for me is just letting go of this idea of control, of this idea that we have to have it all figured out. We have to know the answers. We have to doomsday prep and know, what's it going to feel like when this ends and when I lose this. And that ultimately just comes because we all have this like innate fear of loss, this innate fear of losing. But it's a part of the human experience. And it means that it's a reminder to just like be in the moment, be with your human now. Like you and I are just here right now. That's all that I know. That's all that I know is like, this is a moment that I'm guaranteed to like sit with all of you in this studio. I don't know what happens 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 2 weeks, 2 years from now. I don't know. I'm just here. And I get to just be in that. And so who knows what the future holds, but that magic will unfold as it comes.
Is that a part of the answer you arrive at by the end of this album? Because I'm assuming you arrive at some sort of antidote.
Yeah, there's an arrival to the final track on the album called Antidote, and it is that. It is just it is the beautiful realization that being a human being is the most beautiful and brutal experience one could ever navigate and go through. It is so painful and it is so magical at the same time, and to be able to experience it all and also pose the question of like, what is your personal antidote? What is it that lights you so on fire outside of what the world has to say about it? Whether it's a relationship or a spiritual practice or, a hobby, a passion, whatever it is, it's just like, what is that fire for you?
What is it for you?
Honestly, for me, it's just, I thought it was so many other things. I thought it was like accolades and acknowledgments and numbers and money and success. I just was like, oh, once I have all of these things, I'll be so good. I'll be so good. I'll feel good. All my horrible mental health things I've been navigating within my life will just disappear, and my self-worth will be better, and everything will just be great. I'll be so happy. And then when those things start to come into your life and you see bits and pieces of that, and it doesn't feel different. It is truly like, it is the biggest wake-up call to be like, you want to be like, no, people, this isn't the way. This isn't it. It's not about this. It's about connection and love and friendship and fucking laughing and having fun and just feeling all of it. Like that is truly, that's the antidote.
But it's weird. It's not until you can like have what you think it is until you realize that it's not it.
Yeah, well, you can have what you think it is, and then there's all these things, and everybody has their own struggle and their own journey, and so I can only ever speak to what mine has been. But yeah, to start to get these pieces of it, and then feel my body in its like lowest space, emotionally, spiritually, physically, health-wise, and I was like, the math ain't math in here. Something's got to change.
Your Lyme disease. Do you think that's all connected?
I, of course, like all health is such a large thing. It's such a large topic, and there's so much to it. There's things that are genetic. There's things, that people are born with. And so there's all these different aspects, and I'm absolutely not a doctor, so I will not pretend to be one. But I will say that for me, a big part of the more that I start to feel the depth of my own feelings and look at things I wasn't willing to look at, like things from childhood or fears or patterns I've repeated, the more that I start to look at those things, the more I feel my health started to improve. And so it was this really beautiful process of just like looking at, you can't just look at the body and be like, how do I mask this symptom? How do I mask the symptom? How do I mask the symptom? What's at the root?
Totally.
What's at the root, And so the dis-ease in your body can manifest as disease. And of course, there's so many other aspects to it too. But that you can't look away from that piece of your emotional wellness in your, it's all
connected.
It's all connected. The mind, body, spirit, soul. Like we're just in these weird little meat suits being like, well, I don't know. We're like floating on a rock in the middle of outer space.
So
weird.
weird.
Like what the, like, I don't know. Should we all just like do something crazy right now? Nothing fucking matters. Put your nudes on your lattes, guys. Moral of the story, put your titties on your lattes. I kind of feel like I need to drink it.
Take a swig. Good?
No, it's not good. It looks way better than it tastes.
That's right, it does.
I don't want to put that in a museum.
So this, when you're starting records, are you going into sessions with lyrics? Are you going to sessions with feelings? Well, how do you show up to a studio?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. It depends. It depends on the day. It depends what I'm feeling. It depends what I'm going through. Sometimes I'll show up. I get a lot of ideas in the shower. A lot of ideas in the shower. And so I'll like be scrambling and try to grab my phone, and it's like slipping out of my hands, and I'm like cutting myself with my razor trying to get this recording of something. I've dreamt a lot of some of the melodies on this album. I dreamt them, and I wake up singing them.
Really?
When I wake up.
That's new.
Yeah, and there's other things that are so bad. Some of them on there, I have like thousands of. It just says dream melody, dream melody, dream melody.
So
and some of them are so terrible.
But you have to go back and like listen to them when you're awake, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I go back and listen to them awake, and I'm like, this is absolute garbage. And then other things, I'm like, this is legendary. Let's make it a song. So. Yeah, it depends.
That's wild.
But I go with feelings. Of course, I go in with feelings. I'll go in with like a real life situation of something that I'm feeling, or something someone said to me that I'm like, oh, that's a song. There was a girl that said to me, she said, I might be the antidote to your chaos. And I was like, antidote, 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 antidote. And I was like, and then I went and I flew back to New York, and I brought that into a session with Jon Bellion. And I was like, Antidote. And then we just started flowing on this thing. And then the album title, like it all like unlocked in like one moment for me.
After all thanks to this girl?
Yeah.
Who is she still in your life?
It's a very important human to me in my life. Yeah. It's a very important human. And but just in general, this larger idea of like someone saying like, oh, like the antidote to your chaos. And then it just led me down this whole thing. And I'm like, yes, love is the antidote to chaos. It truly is. And then also like your own love, like your self-love.
Totally. Yeah, because there's like two different types of chaos within and then external, but they kind of all are connected.
Yeah, the microcosm and the macrocosm, it's all the same.
Interesting.
Inner world, the outer world, it's like as above, so below, as within, so without, as the universe, so the soul. It's all connected.
Think about that one.
Ponder that.
And listen to In Search of the Antidote. It's waiting for you on Amazon Music. We're going to throw a link in the description. What are you thinking?
Was Eras of Us really inspired by running into your ex at the Eras tour?
Yes, it was.
Really?
Yes,
Classic.
I was at the Eras tour. I was lucky enough to see Taylor in Jersey at
MetLife?
MetLife.
Wow. Like real New Jersey royalty that you are.
So Jersey. Yeah, I got to go. I got to watch the show.
So Jersey.
And I bumped into my ex at the show.
Did you know she was going to be there?
No. No. It was, I had no idea that she was going to be there. And it was wild. It was jarring. And to know that we were both there, like scream singing these lyrics of an artist who has narrated so many of my breakups, of my romances, of my falling in loves over the course of my life. And to know that we were both there, like scream singing these songs, I just got like hit, with such a wave of like the eras of us, of her and I. And that's where that song came from. So Taylor, a forever inspiration, Taylor Swift.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, thanks.
Do you reconnect after that, or you just go your separate ways?
We parted from the concert, and I just went to the studio the next day, and I was like, this has to be a fucking song. Like, you run into your ex at a Taylor Swift concert, it'd be the biggest missed opportunity. And I just had to channel it into something, and it was like a closure for me. It was like a closing of a chapter.
What's it like when there's a lot of cameras out and the whole internet sees you guys hugging?
Well, I did wake up to it on TikTok, having millions of views, and somebody was filming us hugging, and yeah, I was like, "This is dystopian. This is fake," but it was real life. So, yeah, that was crazy.
The internet, I don't know. I just saw on the internet people are like, "This is the best promotion for a song ever." She had to have planned this.
No, it was not planned. No promo. Just life. Just a day in the life of Fletcher.
You've really gotten a lot of music out of that relationship, huh? Like,
I think for me, it's like my heart hurting, whether it was pain that I caused or just being heartbroken over a person or a situation. Like, my biggest muse has always been love. It always has been. It's always been relationships. It's always been love, whether that's about self-love, whether that's love for somebody else, whether that's whatever the context that it's in. And you remember it. You remember, even if it's not a feeling that you're actively in, it's so easy to tap back into it and remember those feelings of like, I'm sure you remember your like first heartbreaks or your biggest loves. They're traumatizing and magical and like forever inspiration. But we need to move on. We're moving on.
But I'm just, are you in search of that for forever, or are you just going to like...
In search of what for forever?
How does like your definition of love affect the way you actually find love? That's what I'm trying to figure out here, is because like you could find that person and feel those feelings every day, right?
Totally.
Like a part of being with the person that you know is right for you is falling a little bit more in love with them every day, no matter how long you've been with them. In addition to making helping them become the best person that they can be, vice versa, whatever. There's a part of like falling in love constantly with that person.
Yeah.
Is your outlook on love going to affect the way you bring love in and then keep love?
It was, for sure. Because especially when you're looking at it through the lens of like, I think also as an artist, there's a tendency to self-sabotage because what I have found in my life, that some of my like best music comes from hurting.
So you want to hurt to create again?
I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want that's a pattern I've repeated, you know? And so I think this next era of me, of Fletcher, of my life is like, okay, I'm in my Saturn return, which I know you know what that is now.
Every 29 and a half
Every
years.
29 and a half
Welcome.
years, Saturn makes her loop back around and brings up a lot.
Yeah, thank you,
A lot of
Casey.
things-
Thank you, Ari. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of things to look at. Yeah, it's a common theme. All the girlies are talking about our Saturn returns.
It's real.
But yeah, I think that's just, I think being able to accept love and just be like, okay, I don't want to be a chaos monster anymore.
And breaking patterns. I get it.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it anymore. I want to write from a place that because I feel good and that I'm like, you know, super in love. It'll happen.
I feel like this album is a
manifesting it.
transition into that.
This album is totally a transition. It is a transition into that and to truly learning to accept that love in a bigger way.
I'm excited for you, Carrie.
Thank you.
Would you date yourself if you weren't you?
No, fuck no. I literally actually wrote a song about, I have a concept in my notes app, which nobody take it, is how I would never date myself.
Really?
Interesting.
No.
Why?
Just take a look at the discography, babe.
I want to hear it from you right now.
No, just kidding. I think I'm great. Like, I think I'm great. I love myself. I love myself. I think I'm lovely. My heart is really big. I think I'm amazing. But I would never want to date myself. No. No. That's the answer to that.
In Search of the Antidote is waiting for you. Click the link in the description below. Grab it on Amazon Music. Really appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. It's
You're a
really
special
fun.
energy, sis. You really are.
Aw, thank you.
And the music, from what I've heard, is really good.
I can't wait for you to hear the rest.
I really want to
Take a
indulge
deep
in it.
dive, go on the journey.
But I just want you to know that our love for you is unwavering and forever.
Oh, I love that so much. I was like immediate as soon as I found out that this was potentially going to happen. I was like, get me to the couch with the little pussy pillow and my nudie latte.
You've been petting that cat pillow the whole time.
That's so crazy. I have.
You've been the whole time.
Yes.
watching
I'm like,
just,
this is my
stroke it.
comfort zone.
Interesting. Yeah, what are you trying to say?
No, it's just,
Are you looking?
I realize, am I what?
Are you looking for someone? Or are you out there? Or?
I'm single.
Okay, so
So sure.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Open for business.
Hit the piece of wood. It's a good piece of wood. It's a very lucky
you're right.
log. Yeah, yeah.
Knock
yeah.
on wood. Yeah, just the sensory, you know, if I'm anxious, I have like crystals in my pocket. I'm just trying to stay
Grounded.
grounded. Stay
So
grounded,
you
kids.
pet that pussy and you'll stay grounded.
It's going to literally be like the headline of this. Fletcher pets pussy. Pussy.
We never got to talk about the pussy diet line. It's been brought up twice, but like, I want to say where it come from. I think I know where it came from, but how did it end up in the song?
Because I was like, oh, okay, I was like, all the things that I was doing, I was like out here, I'm like performing this song on stage with Miley, I'm seeing psychics, I'm going to healers, I'm bought a new car, I went on the pussy diet. And that, you know, I was kissing girls. I was kissing girls. And I was like kissing people, and then I stopped for a long time too, because then I just needed to like focus on myself and my energy and my healing. And so yeah, it's both. It's whatever. It's just the pussy diet.
That's the way of life, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get your answer.
Yeah, well, on Doing Better, you said Fletcher wrote the verses, Carrie wrote the chorus. So I was just trying to figure out what the difference between
And there is
Carrie and Fletcher is.
You've explained that there's been a difference between Carrie and Fletcher for a while.
Yeah, there's just this. I would say that Carrie is like the sensitive Pisces, feeler, emotional, shy, reserved, and then Fletcher is this like is my Gemini moon, basically. It's my Gemini moon and the one who's just out there and she's like, nah, bitch, we're saying it. We're getting up on the mic. We're going to do it. And Carrie's like, fuck, really? Are we sure we want to do that? And Fletcher's like, yeah, we're doing it. I'm like, damn it. Okay, I guess this is what we're doing. But this album really feels like such an integration of the two. It feels like for the first time in my art and in my music that it's like both are getting to have a space and have a home and show up on the mic, show up on the stage. So.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
In Search of the Antidote is waiting for you on Amazon Music. Grab it below. You good?
Yeah, I had a question. I forgot what it was.
You think about it.
Oh, what's the song Sharks?
Oh, God. Sharks? Sharks is just a song that I wrote like 6 years ago that I played one time live on stage, on tour, and I never released it. And my fans will not let me live it down. Still to this day, they bring like stuffed animals of sharks and throw them on stage, being like, give us this song. And I'm like, it's never coming
Why,
out.
though? There's appetite for it, clearly. Clamoring in the streets.
I don't know. It's just some things don't need to see the light of day. And that's one of them.
And that's it?
That's it.
Point
That's
blank
Sharks.
period. Yeah. Yeah.
Has
What do you got?
well, I just
What
I
you
was
got
just-
over there? I'm scared.
No, I
I'm
was-
scared of you.
I was just scrolling on TikTok and like, has it hurt you that all the songs have been removed and you can't promote your music that way?
Oh.
That is a good question. Yes, I am out here trying to figure out ways to promote my music and my album, and I can't on TikTok at the moment. So that's been an interesting thing. But you know, there's still so many. Like I was promoting music before TikTok. There's so many other ways to do it, and for people to find me and find my music. But we will return. We'll prevail. The promo will continue.
Yeah. Come here.
Yeah, exactly. I'm here on this couch. Guys, go stream In Search of the Antidote. Go listen, buy, maybe get one for your grandma. I don't know. Maybe she'll love the pussy diet.
Get a physical copy of this album.
Get a physical copy of this album. If you get a vinyl, you might get a version that has my butt cheeks signed. So
Lucky you. Grab it below. There's a link below, okay? You good?
Yeah. Well, one more.
the never-ending.
Is better version and doing better? Are they related? They just sound similar in terms of titles.
No, they're related. So
See?
Good
look
question.
at you.
You found one.
Look at you doing your homework.
Yeah.
I like that. I had a song on Girl of My Dreams, my last album, and the lyric ends with, and now some other person's going to get the better version of me. And so I wanted to pick up doing better where better version left off. And I was like, is the better version of me actually doing better? And doing better answers that question.
Look at you.
I knew it.
So listen back to the back catalog and the new album right now.
It's all tied in. It all connects.
Do a deep Fletcher dive. It's good for your health. In Search of the Antidote, waiting for you now on Amazon Music. Officially good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Carrie, everybody. You're amazing.